right, the next game here between Bartlett and Marian Central, our second game of the day here as broadcast partners. Brooke Williams and Austin Anderson here with you. Quick three from Bartlett, no good. It's a 2A versus 4A matchup, but we expect this to be highly competitive regardless. Oh, a backcourt violation just 2 seconds into the game. How about that? But ball goes back to Bartlett here early on. But the story of this game, especially for Bartlett, is Conrad Lachinsky, the 7'3" senior center, who I'm sure is getting quite a few college looks here as we head into the last half of the senior year.
Yeah, and you see what Marian's going to do. They're going to zone him and just make sure that they get two bodies at him as often as possible. And the key is going to be keeping him off the boards.
And much like Crystal Lake South in the last game, Bartlett's flying on the boards here early on. Kick into the corner. There's a 3-ball. That's no good. And an offensive foul, or a loose ball foul, and it's going to be up against Lachinsky. So that's something to watch here. Will he be in foul trouble here to start off the game? But as of now, he picks up his first, and Marian Central with the ball, no score, just 40 seconds into it.
And that's exactly how you keep him off the board. You got to put a body on him. You got to play him low because he's going to win everything high. But if you can get your hips down on his hips, that game is neutral for everybody.
With the basketball now is Jason Lang up top. He'll reset. And just from the speed of comparing the two games, this one might be at the lower scoring end. As I say that, there's another missed shot, and Lachinsky with the board.
Yeah, you made the point earlier. That's one of the great things about the tournament, right? The variety of styles of play that we're going to see. This game, you see multiple passes per possession and looking to play inside out as Marty McCarthy, player I'm familiar with, scores there on the slash.
Well, great bounce pass inside, and that's a way you can exploit the zone D. There's a 3-ball misses out. If you, as a post player, get double teamed, just keep running those kind of plays and let the guards take over. You know, there's a turnover. Marian Central back the other way on the dribble, the kick back. The shot is blocked. Nicely done there by Bartlett's Kelton McEwen. And he'll shoot a J from about 15 feet and scores. It's quickly 4-0 Bartlett.
You like to see that. That's something you don't see very common in high school basketball. The guard who understands poise and under control, doesn't rush in a transition situation. Nice pull-up.
There's a 3 from the corner, no good. It seems like Marian's going to want to live and die by the 3 here, at least early on. And Bartlett with the basketball will cross the timeline. It's Nathan Skiers who hands it off now to McEwen.
From my point of view, Austin, when you say Marian, I assume you mean America, because I mean everyone is living and dying by the three-pointer right now.
That's fair. There's another chance, especially in high school, where that's probably the one level. There's a missed layup where the range is starting to supersede the line, right? Everywhere else, they're moving the line back. High school, they're insistent on keeping it where it is, and we're seeing threes of significant length even at this level. Really, Steph Curry's changed the whole game for everyone.
Well, you know what's coming next, which I'm actually very excited about. I believe within the next year or two, Illinois is going to adopt the shot clock for high school sports, and that's really going to open up the game even more. It's going to actually bring more threes because with the shot clock will come analytics, and with analytics comes three-pointers.
There you go, as Michael Morris puts that in. So, yeah, really, I was not familiar with that, so I'm very excited to hear that. But granted, I don't think these teams need a shot clock right now. There's a 3 from the corner. That gets the friendly roll. Marty McCarthy from downtown, and the lead's back up to 4 for Bartlett.
You know, we talked about the confidence of a Cooper LePage last game, and so it's worth mentioning that Marty McCarthy is going to match him for moxie. That is for sure. Marty likes to play downhill, really confident in his abilities, will shoot it. He's a nice compliment to Connor Lucinski on the inside.
7-3 the score, 4:43 left in the first quarter. Bartlett still under the direction of Jim Wolfsmith, who's been a mainstay here at Bartlett for years. Every year it seems like he's still got a new team and a new crop of players, and this year Lachinsky's been that guy for them as he goes into the lane trying to go up. He can't, and he'll skip it back outside.
I'm always interested just to see, you know, from a coaching standpoint, I look at the game from a chess point of view, and I'm just consciously looking to see what Marian's going to do to counter his size. So far, they're just leaving him in one-on-one matchups. He's got to take advantage of that, be more aggressive.
Quick jumpers miss, and it's back to Marian Central. As crossing the timeline is Colin McPhena. There's a 3 from the top of the key. That's missed. And we have a foul, I believe, against Bartlett.
Not a lot there on that contact, but, you know, this game does belong to the officials. It's their job to call it, and as they call it, we have to respond. So foul call there. Sorry.
First mass timeout of the quarter, so we'll go ahead and take a few moments here to reflect on what the start it's been so far. And I have not done our pregame reads as we just kind of flew in here, so let's take a moment to do that. So again, thanks to our main sponsor, Bear Family McDonald's, big supporters of our community since 1967. Stop by one of the 30 area McDonald's restaurants today. In this quarter, sponsored by Rosen Hyundai of Algonquin, Genesis of Algonquin. Looking for a brand new or certified pre-owned? It's Rosen Express online. By making it simple, go to rosenhyundai.com and genesis.ofalgonquin.com. Rick Williams, Austin Anderson here with you. Early on, it's a low-scoring affair. Not necessarily high percentage shots being taken so far, but the few that we've seen go down, seems like Bartlett's going to really have to rely on Lachinsky, who does already have a foul to his name. And Marian Central's trying to use a team attack and their team defense to try to stay in this one.
Sure. To use a football reference for any football fans out there, we're in the middle of the football season, but it's like a really strong defensive tackle that doesn't necessarily have a lot of sacks, but just his presence on the field kind of opens things up for the edges. Well, basketball works a lot the same way. As Connor sits in the middle of that floor, he's going to draw a lot of attention, and that's going to open up slashing opportunities for his teammates. It's going to open up three-point opportunities for his teammates. So whether he scores or not, he is going to have a massive impact on the outcome of this game.
And I think if you're Marian Central, I think a strategy here is you just got to try to attack him, see if you can get that second foul here pretty early to probably send him to the bench for a little bit. That would change significantly the potential outcome of the game. And with them playing 5 out too, it's kind of forcing him to come out a little bit as a defender. Lachinsky, there's a jumper that's no good. And again, his presence known. Doesn't get credit for the rebound, but gets a tip out there, and Bartlett with the basketball. McEwen kicks it outside, a 3-ball from the left wing. That's good. Nathan Skeers from downtown, the sophomore, puts it in. It's 10-3.
You see just that right there. That's a change of a shot, right? It's a
good steal. Let's see this challenge in the lane. And sure enough, the block comes. But you got to give credit for the hustle and tenacity there of Luca Rasso, the junior guard who just took that one and decided to challenge a 7-footer. He's only 6'1" or 5'9" himself, so over a foot difference. And he still took the challenge to the hoop.
And I can't help but smile. It's just nice to see a kid, have no intimidation and go at him. But he's going to need a floater in his game today. I can promise you that.
And speaking of him, he's at the top of the key. Swings it now right side. It's Bettenker, and now we have, I believe, an illegal screen. Indeed, it's called against Dawson Yegi. And the 6'7" center takes the charge. And that's the funny thing, too. You think he's not. You're like, oh, he can't be that tall. You got a 7-footer over there. No, he's 6'7". He's just 6 inches smaller than the center. Oh, man. So this is a fun one here early on, to say the least. Here's a pass inside, and the big center goes up and scores. There's Lachinsky's first 2, and it's 12-3.
So that's going to be a problem all game long. If we're going to sit in a zone, we cannot let the ball get to the middle of the floor, because if the ball gets to the middle of the floor, we're going to draw up, and that's going to open the 7-footer up behind. So let's look to see if they stay in that zone and open up that middle.
Bettenker with a floater. It's now 12-5, and they go back down low, and there's a foul, but I don't think that's a bad foul, to say the least. The alternative is a free layup, and with only being the second team foul of the quarter, you just force him to inbound it.
We talked about how the three-point game is taking over the
There's a floater that goes in by McEwen, making it 14-5. Go ahead, Rick.
About the sport, right? But see, it's because a lot of us don't have the benefit of having someone that we can dump it into over the top like that. But that over-the-top pass on a high-low has been a part of our sport for decades. And so it's nice to see it being implemented here at the high school level because they have the talent to do it.
Here's another chance from Skeers from the left side. No good. And the rebound inside by Lachinsky goes up and scores. So 4 quick points there for the center. And his imposing will is causing Marian Central some havoc at 16-5 here with 2 minutes left in the first.
And I'm feeling the pain of Coach Charles Walsh. He's going to draw something up. He's going to call a timeout. He's going to make his adjustments. But, it's hard to adjust for a player of this size at this level of the game.
And they're not going to see anything like this for the rest of the year. They're a 2A school, right? They're playing the 4A in Bartlett, and they won't see another 7-footer to his name for the rest of the year. So it's it's a good challenge. Again, as you were saying earlier in the last game, just it's a good contest. Good skills will be imposed, and even if today turns out to be an L in the loss column, this will be a great experience for them going down the road. 2:01 now left here in quarter number 1. It's 16-5, a big lead right now for the 4A Upstate 8 Bartlett Hawks.
You know, I've had sometimes when I'm doing training or coaching, whatever, I'll actually, try to dust off the sneakers myself and play. I've had the pleasure of playing on the same court as Connor, and I can tell you, I mean, it's just a lot to handle. He's a young man. He's still a developing player, but it's just really difficult to contend with a guy that size. And you know what? He's not going to show it today probably at this level, but he can shoot the ball. At the next level, they're going to put him at the three-point line, and he's able to fill it there.
That'll be fun to see wherever he commits here, as there's a $1:30 left here in the opening quarter. And there's a pass inside. Lachinsky can't get it, but it stays with Bartlett with a $1:30 left here in the opening quarter. 16-7 lead for the Bartlett Hawks. Quite a good play design. Inside, no good. The layup goes in. But just forcing all the distraction in on the center, and then you have a trailing guard in McEwen coming in. That led to, even if the layup didn't go in, it was a putback very easily after that. And now an offensive foul called against Dawson Yegi, and that's 2 quick ones on him, and that can't be good because there's not going to be many people who can contend height-wise with the big center.
Well, so you've got to adjust to the officials, right? They called that offensive foul on the moving screen earlier. And they're going to be consistent with that. So you've got to adjust your game and change.
Oh, and now a technical foul. So that's 3 fouls against Yegi here. Oh, 4. Excuse me. I missed another one. He has 4 fouls in the first quarter. And they're just going to let him play. At this point, or maybe not. They might have a sub here for him. But that's whatever he said. I mean, you got to be noticing how many fouls you have. I mean, he's done for the half, and he can't play aggressive for the rest of the contest.
Yeah, no, that's crucial. That's crucial. I mean, that's something you don't want to see in high school sports. You want to see a little bit more poise, a little more composure from young student athletes. I mean, calls don't go your way all the time. Let's see what Marian can take advantage of Conrad being out of the game now.
It seems like they have one other key defender who can maybe match up against the big center. He did step out of the game, but Christian Bettencourt might be the guy who's going to have to match up with the rest of the game. Back inside, there's challenge for the basketball. Minute 11 left here in the quarter. Back up top there is the ball is taken by Ian Smith. Smith passes it off to Singh. Singh over to McEwen, drives in the lane, floats it up, no good, but a foul with 55.8 left here in the first, 20-7 to score.
To the credit of Coach Jim Wolfsmith, you can see that they've got a completely different style of play when Connor's out of the game. All of a sudden, it looks pretty modern now, right? We've got 5 out, we're passing and cutting, and we're trying to play a more open style of basketball. And when Connor gets back in, we'll slow it down, get it inside.
Kelton McEwen shooting the free throws. 55.8 now left here in the first quarter, and it's a 21-7 contest. Next free throw up and good. It's 22-7, just nearing the end of the first quarter. Giangreco passes it off to Rasso. Up top, and now a floater inside, and that's good. And if you're going to dominate inside the post right now, Bettencourt better take advantage while the big man's out with 39 seconds left here in the first.
That's a beautiful flash to the high post there before the basket.
Oh, McEwen showing his range, 25-9. On the dribble, Lang had it. Giangreco waits, throws a pass off now to Lang. Back up top, swung back around. Rasso throws it. Giangreco, no. Rebound to Ian Smith, and here comes Bartlett. 6 seconds left in the quarter. McEwen again. Oh my! And that'll end the first quarter of play.
2 absolute daggers by a sharpshooting guard to end the first quarter, and it's going to be really important for Marian to respond here in the second quarter with baskets on the other end. There's going to be things that they just can't do anything about defensively, but offensively they're going to have to score more than 9 points a game, 9 points a quarter to be in this game.
28-9 to score after our first quarter of play. We'll go ahead and send it to a brief timeout before we return. It's a 19-point lead for the Bartlett Hawks. You're listening and watching Beacon Academy basketball. And we're back here. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Just so heartbreaking to come out of a timeout or even a quarter, which is essentially a timeout, and turn the ball over in the first possession. You just want to see better execution. The offensive side of the floor, again, going to be so important for Marian to stay in this game.
Just a reminder that our second quarter is brought to you by the Rosen Hyundai of Algonquin and Genesis of Algonquin. Buy and made simple. Go to rosenhyundai.com or genesisalgonquin.com. Bartlett can't convert in their opening possession. It's back to Marian. On the dribble, Beckencore in the lane, goes up and scores. He's taking advantage of not having much height, and I'm sure in two-way play, he's certainly a force down low. Again, he's not going to see anything like a 7'3" center the rest of the year.
That's exactly what he should do. As long as Conrad's out of the game, do not hesitate. Get downhill, be as aggressive as possible.
McCarthy throws out to McEwen, who has 14 points, and he misses that completely from air. Good defense from Beckencore, and here comes Marian Central. Oh, behind the back, right-handed up. No shot, travel called. I think that's the right call. Too many steps there while he tried to go behind the back.
So there we go again with that difference between an entertainment style of basketball and a high school style of basketball, right? At the NBA level, there's no way they're calling that a travel. Here, you know, they're going to look for more fundamentals than they are flash. I like the move, though.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it. It's kind of a, you know, the fundamentals versus the flash. I like that. 6:46 now left here in the second. And with the basketball now is Skierce, and we have an offensive foul.
Now, if I'm Coach Charles there, I really love that call. I love that call because it's showing me that the refs are being consistent, right? They've gotten my team with a couple of offensive fouls. My guy got frustrated, got a technical foul as a result. But they just showed that same screen. If you move on the screen, it's a point of emphasis. We're going to call it both ways. Nice job by the referees.
And there's a quick steal, and now here they come back the other way. Bartlett with the basketball. And there is Lachinsky, the big man, back in the game, goes in, thought about going up with the right hand, now does, and he walked. So the ball goes back to...
Speaking of consistency, right? Calling the travels both ways. That's a common travel you'll see a lot, right? The big man has established a pivot move. He's going to make a move. That right foot looks free, but that left foot shuffles even just a little bit. It is a travel.
Lachinsky goes up, can't get it, tries to fight for the rebound, and he forces it back out to Skierce. And back up to the top of the key, McEwen for three. Nope, but the rebound to Lachinsky. And he goes up with the right hand and scores. He only has, so far, he only has 8 points, but he doesn't need that many when McEwen has 14 in the first quarter. And good move inside, and we have a walk. What was it a switch of a pivot there that led to the walk, or what did you see there?
On this one just here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so same thing, right? I mean, they're being consistent. There's something in the pro game called a dead step, right? Where they're allowing the pros to take a dribble and then a step and then two steps. At the high school level, they're not going to let you do that. You're going to have to take a dribble and then two steps. And so, that dead step just doesn't work. But again, I've been in some games where it's not being called too. So you just have to adjust as the game goes on.
Well, we want to thank one of our sponsors in Tom the Plumber. He is honest and affordable. TomThePlumberInc.com is where you can find him. And you can give him a phone call at 847-513-3971. Tom the Plumber, honest and affordable. He's been one of our long mainstay sponsors here for the Beacon Academy, and we were thankful for everyone's support that allows us to put the money into this. And again, yes, it is all volunteer ran, and you have state employees who are teachers who run this program, but buying the equipment and machinery and using electricity, it's stuff that we need a little money for, and we're thankful for all of our sponsors. Bear Family McDonald's, who presents it, and everyone else included. Rosen Hyundai, Tom the Plumber, everyone else, Daryl Barnes Photography. We need every single cent we can get, and we're thankful for that.
We need to call Tom the Plumber for Kelton McEwen here. He has flooded this game with three-pointers on early as a result of a lot of attention being paid to the 7-footer. He started that first quarter on fire.
Well said, well said. Here we go, 5:45 left here in the second quarter. It's a 30-11 contest, ball inbounded. Now here comes McEwen back the other way, throws that ball inside. Lachinsky spins, left hand goes up, no good. Battle for the rebound, and it's Bartlett who comes up with it, and it's the guard, Jacob Magnano, who gets it, and a foul going to be called against Marian.
As Conrad develops his game, he's going to want to work on improving his position before he dribbles the ball. If you watch him when he gets the ball in the post, his first reaction is to put it on the floor and then try to back down and before he does his move, where there's a lot of things you can do offensively to improve your position with a pivot foot and then start dribbling.
Jumper is missed, and the rebound goes to Marian Central, trailing by 19. Pass in the corner. Bettenker back outside. Thought about a three, did Giangano, and he misses that next shot, and Bartlett back the other way. Marty McCarthy passes it off as Kelton McEwen with it.
Now, do you remember when Conrad was out of the game and Bettencourt went to make that exact same move? And he did it with ease, but as soon as Conrad comes in the game, it turns into a jump stop, into a pass. That's the kind of effect he can have on the game as he scores again on the inside.
32-11 the score. Good reverse. That should have been a goaltend. No call. Marian will keep the basketball. Drive into the lane. And Bettenker, no, but he's going to get the benefit of the call there on the block. After that missed goaltend call, it'll be a pair of free throws upcoming.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we call a makeup call.
Exactly. That is the unspoken rule. Appreciate the consistency there. They're going to get two shots out of this. And now both coaches, you have Charles Walsh wanting to know why that wasn't a goaltend. Now you have Bartlett's coach, Jim Woolsmith, wondering, hey, why wasn't that a charge?
And I know that official. He's one of the good ones out there, and I'm positive he went over there and honestly said, hey, relax, because I missed that goaltend, and I just gave you a blocking foul instead.
Yes. Next free throw is up and good. 32-12 the score. 4:30 now left here in the opening half, and it's in a all Bartlett Hawk game. Again, this is a 4A versus 2A matchup, which is a rarity in the game, but you usually see it in tournament play like this. And McEwen for three. Nope, can't get that one to go, and it's back to Marian Central. Long outlet pass, and what a steal there by McEwen. Got up there like a free safety and draws a foul.
If you weren't confident coming into the game, certainly when you have 14 points after the first quarter, that is a ticket for confidence, right? It is a license to play freely, and so Kelton's certainly doing that. Got a green light, and free throws is only going to help that. He makes these two, the bucket's going to look bigger for the rest of the game.
Free throw upcoming, and he makes that. It was a bonus situation, so a miss would have led to a live ball, but he makes that one, and it's now a 33-12 contest. Next free throw. Makes that one.
Now, are we at a place where we can start talking about favorites to win this thing? Do you should get a feel for that?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, this is day two. I mean, have to take a look at this, but I mean, you're looking at this pool specifically, right? We'll take a look at a second. Next to that ball, there's a turnover back to Bartlett, and a great outlet pass, just a little too short. Good steal there by Marian Central. There's a loose ball, and Bartlett gets it right back. Pass up ahead. And a good layup attempt, no good. Battle for the board, and it's going to be Lachinsky who picks up the foul. That's his second.
That's felt a little Chinsky on that. I mean, you're going to want to save those fouls, and that's a tough one. It seems like more wrong place wrong time than an actual foul there.
And we have our math timeout here called the equivalent of what would be a TV timeout in the upper levels. But kind of going back to our discussion that we just had, Rick, you're looking at some of these teams. I mean, I think you look at Cary Grove has to be a team that you have to consider. I mean, they had a great win versus a good Grant team. You looked at some of the other teams, you know, South Elgin's always a good force of a team. Crystal Lake South shows like they're going to be a good team in this tournament. I mean, Waubonsie Valley, who already beat Crystal Lake South, you have to consider them a favorite. And but yeah, and, you know, you can't rule out a Rockford team either, like in Jefferson. So there's a lot of games to be played yet. You got a lot of good talent here, and really not one team that stands out like, oh, they're going to be the foregone conclusion winner. I think really you got to win your pool to win it all. So there is that to note, but there's still a lot of talent here that could potentially play itself out into being the winner.
Yeah, and like you said, not just the talent, but a lot of varieties and styles, right? You got Jefferson who's going to play an athletic, in-your-face kind of style. You got Bartlett who's going to slow it down and get it inside. You have some shooting teams here, and so it's just a matter. But as a coach, you just love that. You want to get as many opportunities for your guys to learn as possible because we, you know, knock on wood, have a long season ahead of us of playing our conferences and getting ready for regional and sectional matchups.
3:47 left here in quarter number 2. Austin Anderson here with you. Certainly so far a Marian Central game that hasn't led to much scoring yet for them, as they only have 12 points here through a quarter and a half, but still plenty of time to go. Skip pass up top, swinging in the corner, thought about a three, and now he will shoot it after the initial shot, no good, and tipped in. That didn't appear to be an intentional tip into the basket there for Caden Giles, but he got that one to go, and it's 34-14.
The beautiful thing about our game is that's going to count for 2 points just like any other basket. Better be lucky than good sometimes.
Wasn't it earlier this year that there's an errant pass goes out of bounds back to Marian Central? Was it Duncan Robinson in Miami who tried to throw that alley-oop from half court and just went in?
I remember that.
So that's, I mean, again, it's 3 points that, you know, and points are points in this game. It's 34-14. It's a 20-point cushion for Bartlett.
Good job there by Caden Gels on the defense. He really was competing in the post, and that kind of forced the errant pass out of bounds.
Bartlett coming back the other way. It's Nathan Skiers who passes it off to Marty McCarthy. Here's Kelton McEwen, the star of the first half. Passes it back off to Skiers.
I'm going to say something now, Austin, that I know that your uncle would appreciate, my former coach, Elliot Anderson. But, you know, one of the things I struggled with as a young player, when I had talent and was young and could jump and could score a lot of stuff, I'd be looking at stat sheets thinking that the entire game was on that stat sheet, right?
Yeah.
And Coach Elliot, much to his credit, used to always tell me, Rick, there's so many things that happen in basketball that have nothing to do with statistics. And, you know, at 18, 19, I didn't know what he was talking about. But, you know, and now in my gray hair years, I know exactly what he's talking about. It's those box-out moments. It's those times where you compete in the post and the ball gets thrown away. No one gives you a turnover for that. No one gives you a stat for that. But it's the way basketball games are won.
Every possession so valuable, even if it doesn't seem like it in the second quarter. There's a three from the corner. That's good. Skiers drains that one. 37-14, 30-second timeout, mostly for substitution here for Marian Central. As it's Bartlett's starting to show its prominence here early on.
Yeah, so I mean, look, you got your foul trouble for your best big, and then what you're not able to do is capitalize off of these moments when Conrad's on the bench. That's a really, really tough way to get this game. When he's on the bench, they've got to win those possessions.
Rosen Hyundai of Algonquin and Genesis of Algonquin. You're looking for a brand new or certified pre-owned. It's Rosen Express. They're buying made simple. Go to rosenhyundai.com or genesisofalgonquin.com. Austin Anderson, Rick Williams here with you. Second quarter, 2:10 left here in the quarter. It's a 37-14 lead for the home team listed here today in Bartlett. And Marian trying to continue to compete here against a much larger school in Bartlett. And speaking of the foul trouble inside, they decided to go back with Yagi. And he, as soon as they've changed possession, he was sprinting down the court. He does not want to pick up another foul here, already with 4 at the 2-minute mark in the second quarter.
If he fouls out in this first half, that is something that we're going to be thinking about for the rest of the weekend. But it's unconventional, but it's not. Sometimes you got to play. I mean, learn how to play without fouls. Something else that I learned from the great coach Elliot Anderson. How's he doing, by the way?
He's doing fine, doing well, doing his own thing. Free throw is missed and back to Marian Central, and we have a foul on Bartlett, but you'd have to see, I think part of the reason you go here to Yegi inside is they saw that Lochinski was out, right? And the chances of him picking up a foul significantly decrease when he's not guarding a 7'3" guy. And that might be the time where you can sneak a little PT in for him.
There's one thing working against him, right? He's got the technical, right? So when you get a technical foul, what are the officials now thinking? You're trying to show them up, and they're not going to give you any breaks out there. So he's going to have to play really, really smart here, keep his hands to himself.
And out of bounds, the ball goes back to Marian. It's a 21-point game, 37-16. And Bartlett enjoying this 21-point lead. Kick into the corner. Stop and pop in the short corner. That's good. It's Michael Jablonski, 37-18.
They don't come much easier than that. Wide open shot found in the corner. Nice job knocking it down.
Jacobs with the basketball, and it's Keegan Kunzer who throws it inside, and the layup is, there's no attempt there. He throws it up with his right hand and scores. 39-18, Bartlett.
Do you want to know what it looks like to play defense with 4 fouls?
There it is. Three-pointer missed, and he surprisingly attacks hard for that rebound. He throws it up, no. Battles for the rebound again, and it goes back to Bartlett. Oh, he almost picked up his 5th right there. There's Bartlett with the basketball. Kicked out,
no.
And there it is. He's fouled out with 49 seconds left here in the second quarter.
You kind of saw that coming, right? When you when you go up and you miss the free throw, you miss the layup, you're convinced that you were hit, right?
Yep.
You hit the ground. When you get up, the next 30 seconds is like the most emotional moment of your life, right?
Yep.
And that emotion, sometimes you end up creating another foul. So he was not able to survive that 30 seconds, and so his day is done, but still plenty of basketball left to play and plenty of teammates on his team to cheer for.
Free throws up and good. It's 40-18 to score. And coach makes a point to go over and give him a fist bump, saying, hey, it wasn't a bad effort today. It's just we had our hands full, and you took the beating for it. So 41-18 to score. Marian with the basketball, pass inside, and the layup is good, no contact. That one goes in for Philip Hanlon, who's a junior forward who would not probably be expecting playing time in this section of the game, but here we are. It's a 21-point game with 30 seconds left in the half.
I'd like to take this time to tell anyone who plays for me, if you foul out in the first half with 5 fouls and one of them being a technical, you will not be getting a fist bump from me.
That is fair. Back in 14 seconds left here in the quarter. A right-handed layup, no good. Rebound goes to Bartlett, or to Marian Central with 8 left in the clock. There's a pass inside and a foul call before the pass. And it'll be sideline. Oh no, it's going to be 1-and-1. That's a 17 foul with 6 seconds left. One shot in the bonus.
Nice job in the open floor there. You saw 2 passes being made before the ball was ever put on the floor. High-level transition basketball. You don't see it very often. Let's see if it can be capitalized with some baskets.
Free throw goes down. 6 seconds left here in the half. And it's all Bartlett right now. Not much time here left in half number 1. Second free throw is up and no good. Bartlett with the rebound with 5. If they want to score, they got to hustle. 3 seconds and 2. McDonald passes it off. A 3 at the horn. No. And our first half has concluded with Bartlett enjoying a 41-21 lead. We'll go ahead and take a break and come back here in about 8 minutes or so for the start of the second half. It's a 41-21 lead for the Bartlett Hawks. We'll be back in a second.
welcome to the Bear Family McDonald's. Thank you.
Over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here we go, to start of the second half here from Jacobs High School in Algonquin. Austin Anderson here with you, Rick Williams alongside. About ready to start half number 2, quarter number 3. All Bartlett here so far.
You won't, I don't know if you guys can you hear me? Yeah, you won't catch me ever saying a basketball game is over. This game is far from over. It's a 20-point game, but this third quarter is important. These first few minutes of the third quarter are important. Let's see if Marian can make some impact early.
And a quick foul called on Marian Central as the contact forced Kelton McEwen to head back into the backcourt. So 7:52 now left here in the third quarter at a 41-21 game. So now Bartlett with the basketball. Trying to find Lachinsky inside. They do. He's getting posted up in there. And a good pass inside, and the layup's good. Jacob Magnano with that one makes it 43-21.
If I'm a college scout, I'm looking at that, and I'm just salivating, right? I'm getting so excited about a big that has the poise and understanding to let his cutter cut through and then give that timely pass on the bounce. That's going to go a long way at the next level.
Gian Greco with that one. It's 43-23. 7:16 now left here in quarter number 3. Pass inside, and that one almost went in as well on a little fluke shot. There's a drive into the lane. Spin cycle, layup, no. And tapped in by Bartlett's own player, Kelton McEwen. 2 points to the wrong side. But
well, he just can't help it. He's on fire today. He's going to score one way or another.
Well, you see a lot of active hands inside. Something like that's going to happen occasionally. And Gian Greco steals it, throws it up ahead. Marian with the basketball. It's a chance for Betancourt to reset things up for Marian Central.
Nice drive there by Marty McCarthy. Just the whole time he looked like a passer.
Confidence on that layup, no good though. Good outlet pass though. Bartlett with a chance. A 3 from the corner, yes.
Big shot.
Nathan Scarce with that 3, and Bartlett's going to call timeout. Quick 30-second timeout.
So as they head to the bench for this timeout, I ask you what statistic does Conrad get for that play? He gets nothing, right? But that reverse was absolutely changed by his presence, and then that reverse causes that outlet. And so all 3 points, everything. So you might look at the scoreboard, you said, oh, he only has 10 points. He's not that good. What's the big deal? But he impacts the game in several ways.
In fact, it's a 21-point contest, and you're letting guys like Scarce and also Kelton McEwen do all the scoring from the outside. You know, that's important to see. As they're getting a lot of offensive efforts. You have 9 points so far for 3 threes for Scarce, and you have 16 for McEwen. 10 points for Lachinsky, and you know this is probably a middle of the pack upstate 8 team, and they'll certainly be competitive throughout the entirety of that conference play. But there's some really tough teams in that conference, including Larkin, who's here, in South Elgin.
Really nice press break there by Marian. Got poked from behind, but they really broke that thing down with a cut from the middle well.
Lachinsky can't finish with the right hand. Right idea. And Betancourt going to pass up ahead. Pass it right back to him. He's going to go up, challenging the big man. No. Rebound, though, deflected back to Bartlett.
Another shot changed, right? Where let's come up with a stat for that, all right? This is my new, I'm going to do my best Jeff Van Gundy impersonation and try to come up with rules during sports analysts. But,
yeah.
Let's come up with a stat that says shots changed.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at a triple-double from this young man.
Yeah, shots changed. That would be a good stat. We got a hand check foul on the sideline. That'll keep it with Bartlett. 2 quick fouls for Marian here in this third quarter. Ball inbounded. They're going to go straight to the big man. He lost it, and it bounces out of bounds before he can try to save it. Ball back to Marian.
We run that play at EA where you just put your best player on the block and you put everyone else up in a line. That line is an absolute decoy. You're trying to get the ball down low. The big guy just threw it too high there. Nice backup.
Great. Morris with the finish. It's now 46-27, 5:35 now left here in the third.
That's what you like to see, a little fight back.
Kick into the corner. Why not? A key 3 from the corner, yes. McEwen hasn't made a 3 since the first quarter, but he's up to 19 in the game, and it's 49-27.
How dare he take a quarter off after scoring 14 in the first, but he's already at 19.
There almost was another shot changed as But fortunately for Marian, Betancourt is able to finish it. It's back to 20. Bartlett crosses the timeline, kicking to the corner, scares for another three. Yes. Their shooters can shoot, and you have the big man there to rebound. It could be a lethal combo in conference play. It's now 52-29.
Well, Austin, here's the thing. You and I can go out there right now, and if we get the amount of space that they're getting, we're going to hit these three-pointers too. I mean, they're not being contended. So you've got to get a hand in the face for any high school athlete that's going to make their fair share.
Oh, good move. And he goes up and dunks it with the right hand. Lechinsky, what a play.
Got him.
Even got a fist bump from coach.
Another shot change.
Yeah, shot changed, and now here comes Bartlett back the other way. Drive into the lane. Good effort. And that one goes in for Marty McCarthy. Inadvertent whistle. Count the bucket. Now there's going to be a substitution.
Now, that is a great move by Conrad on the dunk, right? I'm sure we're going to get a replay of that here pretty soon. But when we get that replay, you're going to see it's the cut down the middle that distracts the defense. And they have been hitting that cut all game long. So as you hit, now that becomes a distraction. You use that against the defender, and you fake to the spin move. Very well done from a coaching standpoint, but also from a talent standpoint from Conrad.
McThena throws it inside. Gene Grego drives in, pass inside, left-handed floater, no, gets his own rebound, and then Lechinsky comes in and swats it away. Just under 4 minutes. We're expecting a stop here at the next stoppage of play. You were saying, Rick?
Yeah, that wasn't even a shot changed physically. It was a shot changed mentally. Just think about him, and you're going to change the way you shoot.
And a pass inside. There is McEwen, the game's leading scorer. He's at 21. And with 3:33 now left here in the third, it's all Bartlett, 58-29.
What's more important, Austin, peanut butter or jelly?
I'd argue they're about the same.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how you break down any Shaq Kobe comparison, Michael Scotty. You've got to have a two-man punch, and to have this big inside is massively important. But when you have guard play to go along with it, it makes the perfect sandwich, and it's really tough to beat.
A couple of subs coming in here with 3:12 left in the quarter, but first a timeout as we have our max timeout of the quarter. So 3:12 left here in quarter number 3. Daryl Barnes Photography, always the key sponsor of photography for our broadcast, for all your broadcasting needs, or for all your photographic needs, I'm sorry. 972-203-5767, darylbarnes.com for more information. I'm sure Daryl Barnes is talented enough. He probably could help out with the broadcast. The father, that is. The son does, but, you never know these kind of things. Anyways, regardless, a big sponsor for our broadcasting efforts. Austin Anderson here, Rick Williams alongside. 3:12 left here in third quarter play. And it's all Bartlett here. Really from the get-go, it was about a 10-point lead about 4 minutes in. And ever since then, the Hawks have kind of used their shooting and post play to pull away.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a pleasure of calling 2 games. They haven't been the most competitive games, right? A couple 20-point games here. But what better way to spend an afternoon than to watch young people play the greatest game in the world? And then we've had the pleasure of seeing two very talented people do it as well. In Conrad this game, Cooper LePage last game, and then seeing the other teams have to deal with that talent and not give into it and fight and compete. It's just a lot of fun for me. It's a pleasure to be a part of, and let's see if Marian can't get back into this game here. There's still plenty of time here in the third quarter.
Well, there's 4 more games after this. We won't be on the call, but there'll be others who will join us, join the broadcast. 3 and 4:30 will be the next 2 games, Loyola and Streamwood and Barrington versus Grays Lake Central. And then the nightcap, we'll have Jeff Myers and Jim Hinkle on the call, Wabanzi and Larkin, and Jacobs and Rockford Jefferson will be the Wednesday night conclusion. And then we're right back at it just 12 hours later. We got 9 o'clock game with Streamwood and Grant, and then all the way down until 7:30. And then we get a nice, well-deserved weekend off until Monday and Tuesday when the tournament will conclude. And it's always interesting with this tournament with how the calendar falls, which days the tournament's played. It's never all the same because Christmas and New Year's kind of change around in the days of the week. And so it's always fun to see the layout of the tournament because how things went this year. It's pretty segmented and scattered out, but here we are playing some much needed basketball on a Wednesday afternoon, December 22nd in 2021.
Yeah, and I have a new personal goal is to be able to call a game one of these times with the great Jeff Myers or the great Coach Hinkle. I think it's just such an awesome thing what they do. Both legends in their own right in their work in the Fox Valley. Myers from a media and an information standpoint, he likes to really highlight what's going on in our community and let people know about the great things that our kids are doing. And Coach Hinkle, his impact on the sport of basketball and the amount of young people he's had the impact on over the years has been understated, if you ask me. But it'd be a pleasure to call a game with them, but it's also a pleasure to call a game with you always, Austin. We've got that long Judson connection and known you since you were a kid. It's good to see you doing well in life, man. It's,
Absolutely.
Having fun.
Yeah, likewise. And the thing is that those two guys especially. I mean, they're a joy to be with. It's hard to know Elgin broadcasting or just Elgin history or even local news and sports. I think we might have a issue with the book or something that's limiting us from playing. But anyways, we'll get back to it here momentarily. But just going back to what we were saying, I mean, Jim Hinkle,
some of the kids brought us Chick-fil-A.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, they have the hospitality room. Maybe there's extra for us. But no, going back to what we were saying though, Jeff Myers just an absolute talent. I mean, going back to, he's been calling high school games in the area for years.
Sure. Was
the lead voice for when the Chicago Bandits softball team was in town on WRMN. There's a jumper that's good. Was a mainstay with calling baseball for baseball and softball and other sports in the area. Football especially too. He's done a few TP games in the area.
Right.
There's a foul called. Jim Hinkle, of course, the legendary Jacobs coach, bringing so much. A lot of the banners on the board here in the stadium are due to Jim Hinkle's efforts, and it's always fun to have on the air. I've done a game with him once or twice. He's always very fun and animated calling games, and yeah, both of them are just two legends of sport in the Fox Valley. So hearing them call a game together is always a treat, and they'll be on for the evening games to both tonight and Thursday night. Next free throw is up and good, and 59-31 the score here with 2:52 now left here in the third quarter.
Oh, terrible turnover there.
That's a turnover there. Now Bartlett coming back to the way, kick into the corner, swung back up top. Here's a chance for a three at the top of the key, no good. And it's back to Marian as they're trying to battle in a trap. There's a layup, no good, but a foul. It's Bryce Kim, the senior guard, who's getting some playing time and gets a standing O from his bench.
Speaking of senior guard, I want to make the point that Kelton McEwen, who's now checked out of this game with a game-high 22 points, I'm looking at him watching someone who I believe is playing with the poise and the aggressiveness of a senior. I look down, he's a class of 2024. This is a young man with plenty of opportunity to grow. So I'll be looking to see what he does for the rest of the year. I've been really impressed with him playing.
And how about Skiers, too? The two youngest players on this roster are the two sharpshooters for this team. So even though Lachinsky's graduating this year, there's still going to be some outside perimeter guard play for Bartlett in the years to come.
Sure. So congratulations to Coach Jem. Give him something to do for the next couple of years.
Absolutely. 2:20 left here in the third. Keegan Kunzer throws it inside, right-handed floater, and that's good. And it's 63-31, and I think we hit that 30-point plateau now where, at least in the fourth quarter, we're going to have running clock for most of that quarter.
Yeah. So I like to point out the opportunities in games that are really coaching related, right? So that circle cut right there, that's an execution thing that you work on all practice long. So it's nice to see baskets that come by way of good coaching. So nice cut there to the basket.
Christian Bettenker makes a three, making it 63-34. Waiting for a pass, they get it in. Drive into the lane, right-handed floater, no good. Back to Marian Central, coming back the other way. Drive into the lane. Bettenker goes up. No, but a good take, and he'll shoot two.
He gets it. He gets it. You watch him all game, he gets it. When the big is out of the game, his aggressiveness goes up. When the big is in the game, he's not necessarily backing down, just intelligently realizing I'm going to play to my strengths and kind of play a jump stop sort of style. But when he's out, he's going right downhill, and he finds himself at the free throw line as a result.
Quick free throw goes in, making it 63-34 the score with a minute 30 now left here in the third. Christian Bettenker for the free throw. Makes that one. 63-36 now the score. And the ball being inbounded for Bartlett here with a $1:34 now left here in the third. And right now it's all things Bartlett. There's a pass up ahead. Kept in though by the Hawks. There's a trip and a foul. It'll stay with the Upstate 8 squad with 1:29 now left here in the third.
Good execution on the pressure release there against the pressure. Get it out to the outside, sprint down the middle of the floor, toss it down there. Got our feet tangled up there, got a foul.
Bartlett will inbound the basketball on the near sideline. And again, it's kind of cool to see Bartlett try to operate, right? You have a whole game plan for the big guy, and then once he leaves, you have to kind of shift gears a little bit as Jesse Singh puts that one in, making it 65-36.
Conrad up on the bench supporting his teammates. You love to see that, right? I'm going to do my job, help us establish a win, establish a lead, and then I'll go to the bench and still be a part of the game and engage with my teammates and support them from here. I love it.
Kick out for the corner, jumper, no good. And rebound goes back to Marian Central. Giangrego drives, jumper, good. A quick J there for Giangrego, and it makes it 65-38 with 47 seconds left here in the quarter. Back the other way, a drive and a missed layup, and it goes right back to the guys from Marian. There's a kick into the corner, a three ball. Not getting a friendly roll. Bartlett comes up with the rebound, it's Singh. Ian Smith now. Up ahead of Jesse Singh, kicks it in the corner, there's a three ball. Nope. And it goes, it's going to go back to Marian Central and a foul on the rebound. And again, both teams fouling a lot here. Marian picking up 5 here so far in the quarter, Bartlett with 3. And we're probably going to see some early bonus opportunities here in the fourth quarter.
You'll see that a lot in the games where the referees want to let the play go, but when they realize that the aggression is almost dictating possession, they've got to call it. So regardless of it being a 30-point game, that's the right call.
Pass inside, right-handed layup, good. But that's kind of a good way of reffing, too, if you're not nitty-gritty, right? The fouls will kind of come to you. You don't have to, like, call all the fouls or try to make the game your own. And these guys have been good all day. Next shot blocked out of bounds. Stays with Bartlett with .3. All you can do pretty much here is a catch and shoot at best. Maybe some sort of cut inside to try to get this game, or to get this quarter to a close.
Yeah, this would be a good time to check Conrad in, just throw it up there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a pass inside, and the quarter will conclude as such. 65-40, all Bartlett here through 3 quarters of play. We'll take a quick timeout and return for the start of the fourth. You're watching Beacon Academy's coverage of the Hinkle Holiday Classic.
Hi, welcome to the Bear Family McDonald's. Thank you.
Fourth quarter of play, Austin Anderson here and Rick Williams as well. Got plenty of basketball still yet to play here today, as Marian Central is trying to finish this game against Bartlett. There's the basketball and a kick into the corner. And a drive into the lane now and a chance for an opportunity for Marian as Michael Morris drives in, and there's a foul with the start of the fourth quarter. And honestly, they never started the clock for the fourth quarter. It's there's a quick little scoreboard maintenance.
Everybody fell asleep on that one.
So what do you think, 8 seconds or so? I mean, you got to let some sort of time elapse, you'd think. They just didn't run the clock. So I think they're just going to let the clock be. We're just going to get a bonus.
Nothing wrong with free basketball.
I guess so. Hey, I mean, for Bartlett's sake, they want the clock. Yeah, so now they started the clock, and yep, and yeah, you have yeah, it's funny with game clock and stuff going on, but hey, it's a long day. There's so much action happening here throughout the day, and most of these guys working 4 or 5 games. It's
players miss layups. Referees miss calls, and scoreboard people miss calls.
Well, that's the thing too, right? And there's a drive the other way for Marian. They're going to get a layup there, as a good take there by Jason Lang. I mean, my full-time job, I'm over at Judson University in Elgin, and there's always clock malfunctions, and everyone's like, oh, we got to be better or whatever. And it's like, well, I was at a few NBA games recently, and the clock ops missed 3 calls.
Sure,
and it's like, it just happens. There's going to be a turnover off the knee of a Marian player as Jason Lang makes the hustle effort, but off the knee. So 7:15 now left here in the fourth. It's a 65-43 game.
If I could rank the lessons I've learned in my life from playing and coaching this game, I would put control the controllables right at the top, right? I mean, it's just that's the way the sport works. There's so many things that you have control over, and so many things you don't, right? And you just can't get worked up in the things that you don't. You just keep playing.
Yeah. I've seen both ends of that, right? And then you see very good coaches who understand the demeanor and have to play with what's there, and you see other coaches who try to control that, and it's like uncontrollable, and it just doesn't happen. Good idea, but a turnover, and Marian gets the basketball. It's Brandon Todd. He's going to shoot one from the next generation and scores. Wow, that was a long one for Braden Todd.
These are the pros of a 20-point game, right? I mean, if you can't loosen up and just play freely now, in what they would call, a fan would call garbage time. As a coach, I would never call it garbage time because these are all important minutes. But this is a time to play free, play open. Let's all get better because we're out here.
Pass inside. Bartlett with the ball. A good idea on the high post pass play. We've seen that a lot with Lachinsky in the play, but unfortunately the pass from Ravi Banipal goes a little too far.
You can see the difference, right? So we're running the same system, but running one with Ravi and one run with Conrad is a little bit different. But it's that what I would call a split action. Some people call it a cut action or a scissor action, whatever you want to call it. It's basically throw it in the post, cut hard off of the post, and it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. They've been doing it all game. It resulted in the fake counter spin move dunk from Conrad earlier, but it's just a good way to play. Get it in, cut hard.
Michael Jablonski flips that one in, 65-47. Next free throw is up and no good. And Banipal with the board for the Bartlett Hawks.
Aggressive rebound there. I like that one. Shout out to both coaches here, getting their young players in. Bartlett could, really put their foot in the gas here and leave their starters in. And even Marian coach could easily justify leaving his starters in and try to get back in the game. But in the spirit of development, we've got some young players out here working their way through the holiday tournament that's designed for them to get better. So nice job.
Bartlett with the rebound after a missed shot with 5:38 now left here in quarter number 4. And it's Bartlett with the basketball as Keegan Kunzer had it. There's a 3 from the corner, and that's good.
Bang, bang.
Shabuv Mangrola with that 3. And it's now 68-47. A 21-point game. This was at 29, even 30, and Marian's chipped into this deficit a little bit.
That's what you want to say. I mean, Conrad hasn't checked into this game in this quarter. It should be this way, right? Let's get back in the game. Let's keep competing. Let's go downhill. I believe this should be a running clock situation. But it looks like they're still stopping it.
Maybe 30 is the threshold. I think
has it not gotten to 30?
It was at 30, but then it's dipped back down. I don't know if it's
just got to go there once.
Yeah, okay. I did not know that. So that shot misses, and now here comes Bartlett back the other way.
Far be it for me to expedite a game, right? I want these young people to get as much opportunity to play as possible.
Control the controllables, right? There you go. Bartlett with the ball, kick into the corner, drive into the lane there for Kunzer, and it's stolen away. Here comes Marian the other way. Layup with the right hand's good. Braden Todd, who has 5 quick points, and it's now 68-49, and a timeout called by Bartlett.
Coach Jim want to settle his guys down. Knows he has the lead here, but doesn't want to get us too anxious here as we play too freely. Good timeout here by Coach.
Well, thank you to all of our sponsors as they've done a lot of good work. You got to look at Bear Family McDonald's, our presenting sponsor. Proud supporters of the community since 1967. Stop by one of the 30 area restaurants today. Also, Rosen Hyundai of Algonquin is one of our key sponsors. Looking for a brand new, certified, or pre-owned? It's Rosen Express online. Buy made simple. Go to rosenhyundai.com or genesisofalgonquin.com for all things Hyundais and Genesis is, I guess that'd be the plural. Genesis. Anyways, Austin Anderson, Rick Williams here. Just at the 4:27 mark, we'll have another quick break momentarily with the masked timeout here momentarily. Jim Hinkle here, he's getting ready to call games later on in the day. You know, this is kind of his thing. He's kind of the mayor of this tournament, right? Yeah. Everywhere he goes, everyone smiles and waves, and you know, he well respected in all fronts of this tournament.
Well deserved, man. I mean, when you dedicate a lifetime to impacting young people through a sport of basketball, you deserve whatever red carpet they want to roll out for you as you get into the later years. And Coach Hinkle's done a lot for this community.
Nice layup there for Mangrola. He has 5 quick points, and it's 70-49.
Kick into the head start there.
Kick into the corner. A dribble drive as Domik had it, tipped, lost it, Bartlett the other way. Wide open chance here, and the layup is good for Keegan Kunzer.
The moment I used to live for, breakaway steals. That's the best way to play basketball. Nothing to think about.
But I'm sure there's a dunk involved there too, right? It wouldn't just be some little soft layup there. And now we have a mass timeout with 3:45 here left in the fourth quarter. We can remind our fans of a couple other sponsors that we have. We have Tom the Plumber. Tom's been a very big supporter for all of these games here in recent years. Honest and affordable. Be sure to give Tom the Plumber some love at tomtheplumberinc.com or 847-513-3971. And then, of course, Daryl Barnes Photography as well. Just another key supporter. All your photographic needs, 972-203-5767. Or go to darylbarnes.com. Austin Anderson, Rick Williams here. What may very well be the final timeout of this contest. A 23-point lead for the home squad, at least in uniform today, by Bartlett. In proximity, it's actually probably about pretty even between Woodstock and Bartlett here. But an opportunity for both of these teams to use some precious minutes, as Coach Rick Williams was saying here on the broadcast. There's no minute that's not precious in a regular season that consists of about 30 games, and you know you gotta make the most of everything. So
yeah, and like you said, I mean, this is the great thing about this tournament. Teams come from all over the state, right? We've got teams from Rockford, we've got teams from the Fox Valley area. We have private schools, we have public schools. It's everybody wants an opportunity to develop their young people in a no-pressure environment. I shouldn't even say that, in a pressure environment where they're learning how to play meaningful games in December that will help them in February.
High pressure, low consequences is probably a good way to say it. There's a miss on a hook shot. Another opportunity for Bartlett as they are taking their time now on the offensive end. Can't be like this once the shot clock comes in here in a couple years. Did they say it's 30, 24? What are we talking here?
It's most likely going to be 35, as it should be, match the college game, sort of universalize the basketball experience, right? One of the things that I kind of get on my soapbox about is if you watch European players, they're coming over to the United States more skilled, more fundamentally ready to play under the whistle than American players. And the shot clock is a big reason for that, right? They've been playing execution-style basketball. Think about Luka Doncic and the way he plays the game. He's been playing like that since he was 12, 10, 11 years old. Whereas our kids are growing up in an environment where they can take as much time as they want to shoot the ball, and it's not the same playing field as what's going on overseas. So bringing the shot clock to all of basketball, I believe, is essential to us keeping up globally with the progress of the game.
I mean, I'm not sure what the wait honestly has been. I mean, it's been so long. I mean, maybe you think of the technological resources in some schools, but at the same time, it's high time, and you know you can just throw a clock up there. It doesn't take too much to work and operate. And
Sure.
there you are.
I mean, you know, I'll wear my AD hat here for a few seconds to just say, I mean, it's a logistics thing, right? I mean, you've got some budgets are bigger than other budgets, and you know, to get a clock that you put on the scoreboard, that's not going to cost you anything at all. If you want one that operates, you know, from the top and everything like that, it could be a little bit more costly. And but it's not just a logistics thing. I think even as I speak, there are coaches who disagree with me, who believe that the high school game should be played at a more pure level where you do take as much time, you can sit in your zones and everything like that. So it's been a thing, but they're putting it up to a vote right now. It's been passed, and now it's just a matter of when does it get implemented.
I mean, you think of like college football too, right? Like there's a lot of difference. It's crazy sometimes how they're not developing as much for the pros and more focused on like the spread offense and things. And you got to think of it in high school basketball very similarly. But here we are, is you know Bartlett's in this game up by 28 with 2.5 minutes left.
Sure, but don't make any mistake. Our game, the high school game, is being impacted by the global game.
Yep.
Every day. Like you mentioned earlier, Steph Curry and the way he plays the game, LeBron James, Greg Popovich, these are some of the more influential people of this generation in the fact that they've taken a very isolating one-on-one style of play from the 90s or 2000s, and they've turned it into an open, free-flowing, positionless, everyone touches it, everyone shoots it style of play. And a lot of high schools are adapting that style. And the shot clock matches that style much better. And I think that's why it's coming.
Singh almost with a three, he can't get it. A back up top, a three ball, that's no good. Bartlett just dominating right now the offensive glass. Good pass inside, but better read there defensively by Marian's Alex Domick. Pass into the lane, deflected, and Marian keeps it. A jumper from the right wing is good. That's Phillip Hanton putting it in. Steal by Marian, inside. Layup, yes, and one.
Now, I said earlier that I don't believe in the term garbage time. However, some of the play that we're seeing here in this last minute or two is where the term was coined, I would say. I mean, it's just a lot of, passes and things you see happening that you don't want to see happening in the heart of a game. But if I'm the coaches, I would, I might even frustrate a referee there by calling a timeout here and just making sure my guys understand these are still valuable minutes. Let's play the game the right way.
Absolutely. Good pass inside. Bartlett keeps it in. Swing up top, open three from the top of the key. No. Rebound, Bartlett. The bench is all excited for all these bench players to get an opportunity from downtown. There's a three, no good.
Now talk about two schools of thought, right? So, and I'm not going to say this as if there's one that's better than the other, but, there's one school of thought that the winning team by 23 should be in delay, playing four corners, not trying to run up the score, not trying to get their benches baskets. And there's other people who say there's time on the clock play. What do you say to that, Austin?
No, absolutely, and I think Bartlett's coaching staff is exactly looking at that. There's a layup, that's good. He's cheering on all of his guys to make good efforts here, and I don't think it's running up the score at all. There's a steal. Bartlett with it. Layup, good. They're not quitting, and I think the bench is agreeing with it. 84-55, it's up to 29 here.
Yeah, I mean, one of my thoughts is that if you really don't like it, just stop it, right? If you don't want someone to run up the score up on you, then take care of the ball and play better. On the other hand, I think there is something to be said about decorum and how you want to handle it. But again, control the controllables, right? All you can do is really coach your team and can't really say what the other team's going to do.
Yeah, the way Marian's holding its demeanor, I don't think they're too bothered by what's occurring. They realize it's the game and they're playing it. And,
sure.
And they're just trying to get valuable minutes here. But yeah, so it's been a it's been a really good contest and good really 2 games of action that we've called. I mean, again, they both have been blowouts by the scoreboard, but a lot of good moments for all the 4 teams that we've seen today so far. Drive into the lane, a kick, and a left-handed floater missed. Good hustle on the rebound, though, by Mangrola. 23 seconds left, and they may very well just hold for a final possession here.
Yeah, this is the moment you definitely don't want to see a shot taken. I think we understand that, and going to clap our hands and show our respect and move on to our next game.
8 seconds and 7, and that's going to do it. An 84-56 dominant performance by the Bartlett Hawks as they take down the Marian Central Catholic squad today, 84-56. So a lot of good action yet to come today as you have Loyola and Streamwood in a few minutes, Barrington and Grays Lake Central, Waubonsie and Larkin and Jacobs and Rockford Jefferson calling all of the games so far here today. It's been a pleasure to call these games. Rick Williams and Austin Anderson here. Just a lot of good action. Specifically in this game, though, Bartlett was able to show their prowess even without Conrad Lachinsky being on the floor for much of the game.
Yeah, like we said earlier, right? So he establishes himself early on. He's the big in the middle that you got to do something about. So regardless of what the statistics will say, he dominates the game. He changes shots. He changes the way you defend. He changes the aggressiveness from the other team. And then when you add sharp shooting from Kelton McEwen, some slashing from Marty McCarthy, now you've got a three-pronged approach that was just too much for Marian to handle in this game.
Absolutely. Just so much good action here in the two games. For Rick Williams, I'm Austin Anderson saying so long. Plenty more action here today momentarily. In just 10 minutes, we'll have another contest here for you in Loyola and Streamwood.
Austin, it's been my pleasure, man. I want to wish you a very happy holiday. I want to wish all of you guys at home a very, very happy holiday. Thank you so much for having me. We look forward to seeing you again next year.
Absolutely. For Rick Williams and Austin Anderson saying so long.
Cast made possible by contributions from the following. The Bear Family McDonald's, proud supporters of our community since 1967. Stop by one of their 30 area McDonald's restaurants today. Rosen Hyundai of Algonquin and Genesis of Algonquin. Looking for a brand new Hyundai or certified pre-owned? It's Rosen Express online buying made simple. Go to rosenhyundai.com or genesisofelgonquin.com. Tom the Plumber. Service and installations of the highest quality and craftsmanship. Tom the Plumber. Honest and affordable. Visit Tom online at tomtheplumberinc.com. And Daryl Barnes Photography for portraits, family and graduation photos, sports team photos, and more. Contact Daryl Barnes Photography at darylbarnes.com.